y'all, welcome back to the channel. We are so glad that you joined us today. We have a really awesome topic. We're going to be talking about the home economy, team building in a family, and what you can do to set a goal for your family, no matter what your circumstances are, to build up a team dynamic and a home economy. So for those of you who are new, I'm Faith, and this is my husband, TD, or affectionately known on the Texas Boys channel as Texas Dad. And we are
the Beauty and the Beast podcast. So Faith is the beauty and I'm the beast. She tries to make it palatable and I just try to shoot y'all straight.
Oh, that's so sweet. So sweet of you.
So let it rip, tater chip.
I have a good, yummy cup of Texas Boys coffee here tonight. And I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I guess we can just speak from our own experience here and how we've built a team dynamic in our home. And then maybe we can shift over to how that goes hand in glove with building a home economy. And I think all of this stuff is really important in today's world, in the current events that we are in and around, because home economy is just going to be really essential.
Yes, as the supply chains shorten and fractionalize, and as we desire and attempt to be more and more self-sufficient, that's the home economy putting food on your family.
So in our family, we've worked really hard to build a team dynamic, and we've done that from the time that they're really young, just encouraging them, telling them how important they are as part of the family, giving them little tasks to do, whether it's unloading the dishwasher, putting away the spoons, just little things that even little toddlers can do, just start to build that confidence and just realize their importance in the family unit and just their role in the family.
Well, yeah, and you have to maximize your relationship and time with them, because when they're younger, they desire all of your time, and they wake up very early. They go to bed very late. They immediately want to be with you. Mm-hmm. They have 8 trillion questions. And you know what I have been convicted to do is to really stop, because it's very easy, especially when you wake up real early and you want some of your own time, and if you're praying and studying, and then my routine is kind of like getting up, getting started, doing some praying and some studying, and then an exercise, and then still leaving for work really early, mm-hmm. like by 7. And but if one of them wake up and they want to talk, you take the time. And what I've always done is you get down on their level, look them eyeball to eyeball, and let them know that you're paying attention to them. What they say is important and it matters. Answering their questions, explaining things to them, and rationalizing and reasoning with them, because you're teaching them. When you do that at a young age, you're teaching them ration, logic, and reason. You're teaching them why we do the things we do and how we do it. And if you start at a young age and you instill that in them, you can build upon it, and you are knitting their hearts with your heart, and you're maintaining and building and growing a relationship, versus, as a young parent and as an incredibly self-centered person that was completely self-absorbed and really into, the sports balls and the bread and circuses and the stuffs and ESPN and Sports Center and Talking Heads and all the nonsensical distractions of the world. It's very easy to be absorbed in that and be like, don't bother me, kid. Like, wait till I'm done watching this, or wait till I'm done doing this, or look, daddy can't talk to you right now, it's me time, or what. All of that really has to be done away with, because that's not logic. Whether or not your kids will be honest or not, that'll create an enormous amount of internal resentment
Yes.
from your children, and they'll resent the things that you exalt above them. They will completely resent it.
And I think that's really a great point because I think that's something that you've always done really well is that you've always talked to the children like way above their level, and you get down on their eye level and you're communicating with them eye to eye, but intellectually, you're talking to them at an adult, almost an adult level. And I always like it makes me kind of giggle sometimes in the background because I hear you talk to them and say things to them, and I'm like, they are not understanding exactly.
They
But
always respond accordingly.
they do. They really
And
do. No, it's great. I think that it's great.
yeah,
It's
just
just,
today, Junior went to work with me. He got it real early. He was super pumped, and we did all kind of cool stuff. And we went to the local airport, and we got on the roof and did all kind of neat stuff. So he got to watch planes take off and land. And we're at the airport. And what was even better was we were there looking at the airport building, some stucco and different things that was going on, quoting some stuff. And the maintenance guy and the director at the airport said, "Man, there's a that was really cool too." The director, the one lady that asked me if I was a Yankee, and I told her,
that is
"You're not
funny.
supposed to you're not supposed to talk about that lady." And I said, "I can talk like this. If you want me to just talk like this right now here, I'll talk like this. I can do it. All right."
Well, you
I'll do
told
it.
her how many years
Yeah, I
we've
said, "I've been here almost 10 years, lady. All right, leave me alone."
Yeah.
But she said, "Oh, you playing hooky from school?" I was like, "No, he's homeschooled." She was like, "Well, that's even better."
Aw, yeah.
But so they were like, "Oh, there's going to be 83 kids rolling up on the drool buses up in here." And so Junior got to go up on the roof with me and watch planes take off and land.
Yeah.
And then when he was leaving, the cheese wagon showed up to let
Well,
all the
I think, go ahead. I'm sorry.
to let all the public school kids off. So so that was just kind of neat. But that's all part of. Oh, I can't even tell you like. What does deceitful mean, Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
he's
Just
always asking me
having
what.
those
Yeah, and you
conversations
can.
all day. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just neat,
Yeah.
It's you have to. We're raising young men and young women, and to that end, we talk to them. We don't talk over their head. We don't talk down to them. We talk to them
At a high level.
at a high level because that's the level we want them to be at.
Yes.
We don't talk to them
Yeah.
like.
And we've always done that, no matter when they're 2 years old or all the way up. We've always spoken to them that they are understanding or have the ability to understand at a much higher level than what we never baby talked them or just gave them silly nonsense kind of words. We
Right.
always taught them the correct words for things and stuff like that. So I think that's really just part of how our parenting has gone. And I was going to say too, that's another thing that you do really well is that you always are open to, if it's possible, bring one of the children to work with you during the day. And they so look forward to going to work with Daddy for the day.
I wish I enjoyed it as much as they enjoyed it.
They really enjoy it. Like,
If I enjoyed it that
really
much,
enjoy it. Usually,
be
that's
great.
part of their birthday gift every year. For sure, they make that like a part of the big plan is to go to work with Daddy and spend the day with Daddy for their
big deal.
birthday. It's a real big deal. Even the big ones still, like, that's what they love to do. But if there's other opportunities during the year as well, you always are open to that if it'll work out with your schedule. And today it did. So that was really
Yeah.
cool. And then on the way home, you stopped.
Yeah, so Junior's collecting coins, and we're learning about silver and junk silver and pre-64 circulated, coins. And so he wanted to buy some rolls of $50 in per chance that he would find some pre-64 silver. So we had to drive to 3 banks, and then it was really cute because I found 4 rolls at one bank, and I asked him to put them aside. So when we came in, I was like, oh, this is my son. He's the one looking for the half dollars. I'm like, go talk to her. Go talk to her. And she's like, oh, so why are you doing that? I'm collecting coins and all that stuff. It was just really neat. And she was like, oh, well, now how do you know if they're silver? And I was like, and oh, yeah, if it's 64 or older, just telling her. She was like, oh, wow, really? Yeah. So it was neat, man. He's down,
He's really into it.
and he's 8.
Yes, and he's been into the
Really
coin
into it.
collecting now for, I don't know, probably since like the beginning of the new year, kind of. And we gave him some coins for his birthday. And little by little, everybody that he meets, he tells them that he's a coin collector. And then mostly everybody that he's met has shared in that interest,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
they did when
To
they were
some extent,
kids
yep.
or something like that. And so they can, oh, and he just thinks that is the neatest thing, that he has like all of these coin collecting friends, and they're like, he has all this in common with people. So it's just really cool. And you never know where that's going to lead.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that I think we've learned over time is that when you look for opportunities to say yes, every opportunity that you can say yes to, you say yes to it.
Well, the beauty of coins, especially if you're collecting silver and that type of hard asset, is, I mean, worst case at the end when he's done, he's got hard assets that he can redeem for real, for a real exchange. That's kind of really neat.
Yeah. Well, when you bought some of your silver the other day, you even divvied some up with him.
Well,
And
what
that
I
was
did
fun.
is I gave him, I bought some pure silver and I gave him some junk silver.
Okay.
So that way, because I didn't want to break that up. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so cool. But yeah, he's gotten coins gifted to him now from neighbors.
And then he took all of his birthday money and converted it to silver. So that was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So that, I think, goes into relationship. He's picked up on these coins that you're into, certain coins, and then he's picked up on that. And it's really cool. And saying yes to things, you just don't know where that is going to lead. Like, will he be into coins forever? I don't know, but right now he's into coins, and it's amazing how much information he's learning just by studying coins.
Yep.
Like all of the different presidents and the different states. We got him the different like map for the United States, so he's working on finishing up that collection of the 50 states, and then we got him world coins and all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool. He watches a couple YouTube channels.
Yeah, collector channels.
And they're like drier than dirt, but he watches them, and
He's into it.
he's super into it.
So that's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. So let's get back to the topic at hand here. So then, like, a team dynamic. So that kind of goes into a team dynamic. I think one way that I build a team dynamic as a mom is that I look for opportunities when I can take one of the children by myself, especially if I see that one of the children is needing a little more attention. I can kind of hone in on that. If somebody hasn't gotten some one-on-one attention for a little while, then I'll usually say to that one, like, hey, I'm running into town, why don't you hop in the car with me and come with me, and usually we'll grab a cup of coffee or something like that if it's one of the older ones.
Hopefully you're making a cup of coffee before you leave.
Or sometimes I make a cup of coffee before I leave. Sometimes I do that. And then for my younger ones, it's pretty easy. When you have little ones, I mean, the highlight can be just like going through the car wash. I mean, honestly, they get excited about the littlest thing. You could just stop at the grocery store and pick up some grapes or some granola bars, and it'll like make their day. It's so easy when they're little. But those little things really do mean a lot to them. And the other thing that I do with my little ones is that once a week we have a park day, and they really look forward to our park day because we wrap up our school week on Thursdays. So we don't do school Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Nice.
So Thursday afternoon, when they finish their schoolwork, they know it's park day. So that has been really fun. And I've been trying to find different parks for us to go to and kind of explore some different areas and things like that. So that all goes in with team building, I think. And the big thing that I've been doing with our older children, which has been really, really fun lately, and we've been doing this probably consistently since the new year now, is doing a Bible study early in the morning. So we all get up
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock in the morning, all three of the older children and myself, and we get our coffee and we meet in the living room and we have our Bible study. And partly we discuss the scriptures and if they have any questions or anything that really stood out to them or anything like that. And then the other part of that is that we kind of use the scriptures as a springboard kind of into discipleship. And I get to share like a lot of life experiences or marital advice or all different types of practical application in relationships or work experiences or whatever that might help them as they become adults. So that's been so much fun. So another way, team building, obviously we live on a farm, and that in and of itself naturally builds a team environment. And I could say, even if you don't live on a farm, if you have a backyard that's a decent size.
Yeah, I would say, you don't have to live on a farm, but you do. Look, y'all, you can't. We just had somebody ask again today, like, well, what if you live in an apartment?
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, it's super. I mean,
You can do it.
so I have a colleague that I work with, and they were in this apartment, and they have like 3 or 4 boys, or 3 or 4 boys and 1 girl, 3 boys and 1 girl, and and he wants to build or buy a house, but they can't find anything. So, but he did, and I said, man, you got to get with where there's some dirt.
Yes.
And the realtor that he found was building a house for herself. Mm-hmm. And so she is going to rent them her house, and they have an acre or two. Oh. I'm like, yeah, man, you just need a little bit of dirt.
Yes.
And if you're not, and he got it for a great rental rate, $1,500 a month. And that's great. Right now with interest rates and PMI and everything else for new home buyers.
Blessing. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't buy and live in a 4.2 for $1,500,
Right.
And so there's nothing wrong with the renting. And what do you do if you live in an apartment? Get out. Well, what if you can't? Figure out how to get out.
Right.
I mean, you have to prioritize. And people always talk about, oh, I wish I could do this and I wish I could that. There's the people that wish and there's the people that do. And I realize that sounds like oversimplified, and that's easy for you to say. Well, guess what? It wasn't easy to say and it wasn't easy to do, but we did it anyway. And the people, that's how it works in life. You do the hard stuff. It's what Dave Ramsey says. You do what others won't do, so you live like no other. I mean, that's the only way to do it. There's no free pass. There's no cheap and easy way.
No.
There's no easy or cheap way to do anything of value.
Right.
It's not possible. There are no shortcuts.
Absolutely.
And that's just reality. And you know what? That's okay. And it's okay for somebody to say that and make that declaration. And it's okay for the person that's struggling or suffering to receive that. So many people that were down and out and just at their last straw, and they heard that and they were encouraged. And instead of sulking on it, instead of sucking their thumb, instead of pouting about it, they did something about it.
And we know several families down here that have moved their families, and they're medium-sized families. I mean, I would say at least 5 to 6 children, each of them, into a tiny house, into a camper trailer, moved onto some land, made it happen. Mm-hmm. And it does require a lot of sacrifice. It's hard.
Welcome to life.
But I would say that if you're in an apartment, that you need to make that a
There's
priority.
plenty of other people that sacrifice everything at the altar of the public drool system and at the altar of the McMansion big stupid house with the little dumb yard or the swimming pool or the fancy cars in the yard or soccer and tennis and baseball and daddy plays golf. They sacrifice for all that dumb stuff and do all that hard stuff, and they have poor relationships and all that stuff.
Right.
And you pay one way or the other. You pay
Yeah.
one. It costs you one way or the
Absolutely.
other.
And I think it's a big difference between living in a neighborhood, maybe per se, that you have a decent sized backyard, you can grow some fruit trees, you can have some chickens, maybe you can even have a little bit of livestock or something like that. That is doable, but to have no land and to have like a little tiny postage stamp where you can't do anything on it, that is a really difficult way to raise children that are grounded and connected with.
Yeah, if you want to live a synthesized life, you live in a little box and you walk up these stairs and you have no reality around you.
Yeah.
You know, you're forced to live in a fake world in a synthesized life in front of the Black Mirror or in front of the Xbox.
Sure, they have
or
no
in the
other
metaverse.
choice.
You don't have an option.
Right.
It's not like you
the
can go outside.
backyard is boring.
doesn't
It's a
exist.
little postage stamp. I mean, the best you could do is a trampoline in the backyard, and that's it. I mean, or sandbox, but that is a limited as far as your creativity would go. Now, I know, like I said, if you do live in a neighborhood, you can like. I'm thinking of the channel Bree from Scratch, and she has
Always plugging Brie from scratch.
she has a
We love
garden.
Brie from scratch.
She has a garden that she's working on, and she's got a nice brood of children over there. And, I know when I was more in her situation, I just made it a point that we went to a lot of parks and we did a lot of things, and we went to lakes and they dug in the sand. And, if you have a garden hose and some dirt and they can get into some mud, you can entertain kids all summer long with that. Give them some plastic plates and spoons and give them a little old ratty kitchen set from, off the side of the road or a yard sale, and they will play, and let them pick flowers and pine needles and let them make soups. And little ones will do that kind of stuff for hours, and that's good for them. They need all of that. They need to climb trees and get dirty and do all of that stuff. Get some chickens. If you can't get chickens, maybe you can get some rabbits. That's neighborhood friendly, and let them get busy. Let them take care of some animals. Let them do some things that's really good for them. And then if you can, and as they get older, move up in your property area and you can have more land, I mean, the opportunities for them just expand so much. I mean, it's...
Yeah, and there's always opportunities. Matt got in a little fender bender with the minivan, and James wanted to try to fix it. So I made him a deal, So the insurance paid a decent chunk of money. And so we could have obviously taken the van to the auto body and got them to do it and all that stuff. And James wanted to do it. And I said, look, here's the deal. You find the parts. And I said, we can find these parts. We can take them to the guys in town and have them painted, and you can install it. And then whatever the difference in the price is between what the parts cost and what all of our expenditures are, if you do that, you get to keep the difference, and I'll probably make a couple grand doing it. And that's great. And that's all part of creating the teamwork and creating, his brother trashes the van. He fixes the van. He makes money. See, so the team is working.
The team is working.
I foot the bill.
No, they do. They all look for ways to be a blessing and to add to the farm and the home economy.
Yeah.
And I guess that leads us right into the home economy
Yeah.
and how important it is. And this is universal. This again goes for whether you're in a neighborhood or if you're on a big old cattle ranch in Texas. It doesn't matter. I think everybody can benefit from a home economy, especially this day and hour.
Yeah, and this is a new paradigm for Western culture, and it's certainly a new way that we have been convicted in holding our finances and economy as a family is to think of the family unit as an economic unit where the family will develop and grow assets together and the assets belong to the family as a collective. You know, that socialism that the liberals, you know, they're really cool with, you know, spreading your stuff everywhere else. But how about collectively keeping your assets, you know, and collectively keeping your inheritance, right? And getting your inheritance in real time when you can have the consultation of the patriarch and have the consultation of your mother and be able to develop your inheritance while those that have bequeathed the inheritance to you are alive and well. And you can all enjoy it together, partake in it, develop it, expand it, multiply it, and that will continue to the second, third, fourth generation, which is the way that it was mandated, created, designed, and put forth. But the majority of knowledge, wisdom, and truth is objectively rejected, denounced, hated. It's revolting to people. You know, just gender roles, men being men and women being women, and performing their designed, designated roles as creatures and creations of God and image bearers of God. And it makes people mad and upset, and you don't get it, and you're not a feminazi and all that stuff. They just, you know, people flame out and jizz out, or effeminate men like flake out and just get all you know, soggy loafers or whatever. And it's really sad, and it's weird, and it's bizarre and strange, and there needs to be an enormous paradigm shift. And you know, the beauty of life is we make the shift, we make the paradigm shift and the change. And if nobody else does it, fine, because you know why? Because we observe the masses and we do the opposite. And when we do observe the masses and we do the opposite, it works out 99 times out of 100.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that Matt Walsh said it just the other day that a lot of parents will raise their children and then just let them go. And the world looks at that as freedom. I
Right.
raise them until they're 18 and then I
Yeah.
give them their freedom. They can spread their wings and fly all by themselves, right? But he said abandonment is not freedom. That's just abandonment. And that's not what we want to do to our children. We don't
Well, they want them to make up their mind when they're two now.
right.
The insanity.
So some of the ways that we've built our home economy is we've invested in land, in dirt, which you affectionately
Dirt coin.
call dirt coin. And we highly recommend that if you can get, you know, an acre here, an
They're
acre
not
there.
making any more of it.
They're not making any more land. We highly recommend that. That gives your children so many opportunities. It gives you so many opportunities in the future for maybe raising animals or just places for them to build tiny houses or starter
Sky's the
homes,
limit.
whatever.
Ground's the limit.
Yes, they can do market gardening. They can do whatever they want if they have land. And then the other ways that we've built a home economy is setting up a website and business, and we run that and work that together as a
Yeah.
family. And it's a great side business. It's a great little income stream to keep all of our children at home and working on the farm. And it teaches them how to manage a business. It teaches them customer service, how to interact with customers.
Yeah, and a side note to that, we get all of these, oh, I remember when the channel was this or the channel was that or whatever. And, we change as a family. Big kids get bigger, little kids grow up, things change, schedules change, priorities change, and lots of different things changes. And so the channel in turn changes, when your oldest son says, yeah, I want to do this and I want to develop it and different things. So it changes. And that doesn't mean that we're changing for the worse. Lord willing, we're changing for the better, and we continue to mature and become older and develop more gray hair, and with that, hopefully more wisdom. And we learn more prahesia, and we learn how to say it better and say it well.
I think the blessing is being able to pass on all of this life experience to this next generation and to you all as maybe younger parents or earlier in the game than us, and to encourage you all not to say that we figured it all out or this is what you need to do and you can't raise your children any other way. Not that, but just to be the one to encourage you. Like, yeah, it's going to be hard. Do it. Yeah.
We tried, failed, and adjusted. We didn't have any videos to watch or any books to read, and so we're just going to announce right now that we have some videos coming out for y'all.
We do.
And it's not that we've arrived and we have all the answers, and these videos are going to answer all your questions, and you're going to be perfect people or perfect parents, because it's us, y'all. So don't cast any aspersions on my asparagus either. But we hope that y'all enjoy them. They should be rolling out hopefully within the next week. They're done. Matt's got to do a little bit of re-edit, kind of packaging kind of stuff, and that'll be done. So look for that coming out very soon.
So what type of videos are you specifically talking
So
about?
specifically, we're rolling out 2 courses. One is a parenting course and how to be like super awesome parents like Texas Dad and Faith.
Okay.
And then there's another course that the boys put together on how to be responsible young men.
Yeah, it's going to be it's exciting.
In the face of the postmodern snowflake generation.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We've worked really hard on these courses, and we're just so excited to share them with y'all. So be looking for that.
Very soon.
Very soon. They are coming out, and we will keep you all in tune on exactly when they hit the website. They will be available over at TheTexasBoys.com.
Yeah, and join our email list, because we do send emails out, and when this kind of stuff hits, this is the kind of emails that go out, and you'll get all the notifications and the notices. So go over to TheTexasBoys.com, make sure you're on our email list, so that way you will be notified.
Super cool. So so anyway, that goes back into one of the areas that we've built a home economy is the website, having physical products that the children enjoy managing and packing up and shipping out to people and selling, and then also having digital now products that we can share with y'all, and Lord willing,
hopefully be evergreen.
Hopefully be a blessing.
Go on.
Yeah, and hopefully just go on, and we'll be able to maybe add more to these and make them better and more fine-tuned and improve them and all of that kind of stuff. So that's really fun. And I mean, can you think of any other ideas for people to build a home economy? There's so many ways I think that we do it. I mean, even with our animals, the way we raise our animals for food security, I think people can do that even if they're in a neighborhood, like I mentioned, chickens or rabbits or quail or things like that. You can sell them. You can sell the eggs, the hatching eggs. Right now, me and little Miss Grace have our own brainstorm going on for a new little home economy, and that's going to be our silky chicken business. And for the next couple of years, it's not going to be much of a business because it's just going to be raising up silky chicks and creating a little backyard flock of really nice quality silkies. But eventually, down the road, when time goes on and they're all grown up, we'll, Lord willing, have a little silky business, and we'll be able to share the chicks and the eggs here locally. And that's going to be her own little business endeavor that I think she's going to enjoy building that. So there's food, there's honeybees, definitely. What would you think about families getting into real estate?
Well, exclusively real estate is where families should be getting involved. It's a larger asset. It requires more capital. But with real estate, there's opportunities with sweat equity and where you can invest manpower. And so when you have children and you're teaching them skills and abilities and trades, they can hone these skills, abilities, and trades, developing properties, whether it's a rental property, whether it's raw land, whether you're going to clear property and put up a cow pasture, or whether you're going to buy a small 8 to 1,200 to 1,500 square foot rental property, fix it up, and either flip it or put tenants in it or whatever. I mean, land, and then there's all the leveraging capabilities of land. There's all the different aspects of real estate as an investment. Real estate is one of the most powerful investments there are. People are always going to need a place to stay. They're always going to need a roof over their head. The only disadvantage to real estate is as the power brokers attempt to take everything from us and do like rent holidays like they did with the scam deal and all that stuff. That's the only thing that's making that look just slightly less attractive. But I think real estate almost exclusively is a great place for the family economy to invest their resources.
That's funny because as you're saying that, I'm thinking of Darcy Isabella's channel, and I think that that's what their family did for so many years, was that they would buy
real estate.
Yeah, they would flip real estate, and they were going into those apartments or rental properties, and they were renovating them as a family. And they had very much, I think, a family economy type situation too, because I remember her speaking on older videos sharing that their adult children still lived at home with them, and just different things like that, like until they got married or whatever, they were very much a very tight-knit family unit. So we're all about that. We're all about living old school, doing it the old ways, being old-fashioned, taking life slow and easy.
Living together, working together.
Yes. Yeah.
Vacationing together, celebrating together.
That's right.
Crying together.
And having all of our specific roles and gifts that the Lord gives us. We were talking about this morning in our Bible study, is that the Lord has just given us all such different gifts, and being able to use those talents for the Lord. And that really shines through in a family team and a family unit, that we can all come together and do different things. So I'm really excited to see the last three little ones and what exactly their gifts are going to be as they grow.
It'll be interesting.
It's going to be really neat because just our three older ones bring so much to the table. I feel like they really take good care of us. That's what I always tell everybody. They take good care of us. So these other three, this is going to be amazing. We're not going to have to do much.
Oh, we're going to live in the lap of luxury.
We're just going to be sipping sweet tea on the back porch, I think, by the time they're 15.
Hopefully.
So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you go check out TheTexasBoys.com, find something for yourself over there, and sign up for our email list so you can be notified when the new videos come out. And
I really hope they come out this week. I think they should be able to do that.
I think so. So with that,
Matt, crack-a-lack, Matt.
So with that, y'all,
We'll see y'all. Thanks for watching.